I'm Nadia Ely, and welcome to Grid Resiliency and Beyond. This series showcases our leaders and subject matter experts who highlight the strides and innovations Dominion Energy is making. Today, we're discussing the impacts Dominion Energy's Emergency Preparedness Center and our restoration efforts have on our customers and colleagues. Joining me to delve deeper into this are Director of Electric Distribution Operations, Sylvia White, Electric Distribution EPC Specialist 3, Faby Helme, and Lead Meteorologist, Jeff Mock. Thank you all for being with me. Sylvia, let me start with you today. In the restoration process, what are the specific steps involved from assessment to completion, and how do you ensure efficiency and quality throughout?
Hi, Nadia. Let me start with what starts everything is the weather forecast, whether it's going to be a blue sky day or a gray sky day. And once we determine that, then we go ahead and put our plans in motion. The specific steps involved from restoration, from assessment to completion, making plans. We already have plans in place before the storm hits. We understand how we will be impacted so we can determine what resources we need and where they need to go in preparation for the storm, such as a hurricane. And then we follow our process of restoration. We have damage assessment done by our patrol teams. We have supervisors doing initial damage assessment right after the storm hits. So we have an idea of how many materials we may need, how complex the damages are in certain areas. And we also have people working in the regional operations centers and the local offices to analyze and dispatch the work requests or work orders to all of our resources in the field. From there, the field is prepared with materials, manpower, equipment to make the repairs, and then restoration can be completed within a certain amount of time. As far as ensuring efficiency and quality throughout the restoration process, the System Storm Center typically is mobilized in large events, and we have section chiefs that handle each particular aspect of restoration, whether it's logistics, technology, making sure all of our systems work during the storm, also patrol damage assessment. They all manage those processes all the way down to the local office. We also have our regional operating centers with regional storm managers, regional restoration managers, regional resource managers that also carries the plan from the System Storm Center down to our colleagues in the field.
Thank you, Sylvia. Jeff, coming to you now, how does the weather, such as extreme conditions or natural disasters, impact restoration efforts and planning?
Yeah, Nadia, thanks for having us. Great to be here. I'll start by saying that we live and breathe weather. It's a hobby, it's also a career. But the good thing about that is our team's very passionate about it. Nothing surprises us. So we're always looking. Obviously, we're sending out morning weather updates. We're updating folks here at Dominion throughout the day. But we're also looking in the off hours. So we're well aware of any potential impact, even the things that don't materialize. We're still aware of them and watching them for the company so that we can be prepared no matter what happens. You think about, all the stuff we do, and I know you've had other podcasts about things to harden the grid and reduce power outages. But when a big storm comes, no matter what we've done, a big storm is still going to produce power outages. So we can't always prevent the power from going out, but if we're prepared, we can minimize the duration of that outage. Wind is one of the leading causes of power outages. It could be thunderstorm wind gusts. It could be winds from a tropical storm or hurricane. In the winter months, the colder season, it could be a nor'easter or just a strong cold front producing winds. And then sometimes the winds are combined with rain or lightning from thunderstorms, ice, or wet snow versus the dry, fluffy snow that's less of an issue for us. We use a lot of experience, but we also have the ability to look up past similar weather and what that did in certain areas. And then our primary goal is to project the number of customers and the number of work locations that are going to be impacted. And if we have the timing of that, which areas, then we're prepared to respond quickly to whatever happens.
Great insights, Jeff. Thank you so much. Faby, turning to you now, can you elaborate on the key tools and technologies used in the restoration industry and how these advancements have improved the restoration process?
Definitely. So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of people involved in the storm restoration process, and we want to ensure that they have the tools and information to make those really timely decisions. So, one big tool that we have is Crew Manager, and that tool is used by several different groups like on and off system contract management, our work packaging team, and the lodging group, and a bunch of other teams. And it provides a ton of critical information like how many resources we have at a point of time, where are they going, where are they staying, and so on. Another tool is Works, and that's a great one because it showcases our outage information spatially on a map. So this can paint a picture of where jobs are located, where they're being worked, where our trucks are located, the statuses, and other details. And another one to highlight is all the different web pages and dashboards that we have. It helps provide tons of data in a snapshot, like how many special condition customers that we have out, how many work requests, again, what their statuses are, what type of damages do we have, and so on. So these tools are super critical, and it's really helpful for us to have the information at our fingertips so that way we and leadership can make decisions to get our customers back on as quickly and safely as possible.
Sylvia, quick follow-up to that. What's on the horizon technologically for the EPC?
So right now we are looking at a new outage management system. We are also looking at a new dispatching system for our for our field crews. And we're looking at an upgrade to our network management system or our distribution switching system.
Lots of exciting things on the horizon there. Thanks, Faby and Sylvia. Sylvia, sticking with you, ROCs play a very big role in the restoration efforts, as you know. What are some of the responsibilities of these ROCs in assisting customers, and how do they prioritize and manage multiple restoration efforts simultaneously?
So Nadia, I will say the ROCs do play a big role in restoration, whether it's a large event or every day during our daily lives. One of the things that they do with customers, they can take them through troubleshooting, making sure they reset their breakers before we roll a truck, just in case it is a situation that is, or a problem that is local to their home or local to their equipment. ROCs also talk to customers trying to determine where problems are, if it's a large outage, or what the cause could be so we can get the trucks to the right area. We also take 911 calls from local authorities, ensuring our field crews are out there assisting them whenever there's an issue with something on our infrastructure. And then they manage and prioritize work requests or outages by looking at the type of outage. I want to say that we have a priority system. We call it a priority score. And what this really does, it just brings attention to some of that public infrastructure like 911 centers, fire stations, police departments, hospitals. If those are out, then we can go ahead and get resources headed that way so we can get public services back online. And then at the same time, we have enough resources to respond to those normal, regular customer outages or residential customer outages as well.
Thank you, Sylvia. This last question I'd like to direct to everyone, and I was wondering if you could share a brief success story that highlights the impact of your restoration work and successful EPC collaboration. Faby, I'll start with you. Jeff and Sylvia, kindly weigh in as well.
Yes, definitely. So when a storm is hitting our service territory, our customers are reporting outages through different channels. They can report online, they can report through the Dominion Energy app, they can call us through their IVR, or they can talk to an agent, right? So there have been times where we're having a storm and we're having a technical issue with one of those channels. And now that could happen for a multitude of reasons. But as you can imagine, especially during a storm situation, we need to know those outages. We need those reports. That's a big piece of how we know how many customers are out and where and so on. So my background's in IT, and during those times, I help and partner with our IT outage management group and our customer contact operations group to identify what that issue is, how we can fix it, make sure we're testing it with different accounts, and verify it's working again, in addition to constantly communicating with our leadership and providing them status updates. So in those moments, You definitely feel the time pressure and it can be stressful, but it's a big collaborative effort for sure. And as I mentioned earlier, there's tons of other tools and applications that we use during storms. So this can happen really at any point. Now, it's not frequent, but it does happen. I get the opportunity to work with amazing colleagues, both within the EPC and outside of the organization. So when an issue does come up, we put our heads together and we're always able to solve it and figure it out.
The collaboration that we have with our distribution technology and applications team, which is also part of my organization, is one that we rely on every day, of course, but especially during large restoration events. They handle any issues we have with our distribution management system, which is a system that allows us to perform switching and monitoring of the distribution grid. And then they also are responsible for our network management system, NMS. So whenever those systems go down, they respond quickly. They work with us so we can get things up and running again, so we can continue the restoration effort.
You know, one of the things that makes me feel good is when even a big storm comes, if the restoration is shorter, maybe we cut it by several days from what it would be otherwise. And I think back over the last few years, we've had a couple Decembers ago, right before Christmas, we had strong wind, caused power outages. We got most of the lights back on before the extreme cold temperatures came in. And that's because we were sitting in place. Everyone was ready for what was to come. There was no surprise. We've had the same thing with some tropical impacts in recent years where we know it's coming, we're in place, we're on standby and ready to go. And when the outages occur, we get those back on quickly. It really helps our customers, but it's rewarding to be part of a team able to do that for our customers.
I'd like to thank Sylvia White, Faby Helme, and Jeff Ma for their expertise and participation. Thanks for listening, and be on the lookout for future episodes. I'm Nadia Ely.